The Science of Hypnotic Resistance, a 4-chapter journey. Chapter 1. The Unbreakable Mind. In 1952, psychologist Martin Orne was conducting hypnosis experiments at Harvard when he encountered a subject who would change his understanding of resistance forever. Sarah Chen, a graduate student in mathematics, had volunteered for his study on hypnotic susceptibility. What made her remarkable wasn't her ability to be hypnotized, it was her complete inability to be hypnotized despite wanting to participate. Orne tried every technique in his arsenal. Traditional eye fixation, progressive relaxation, confusion techniques, nothing worked. Chen remained alert, analytical, and thoroughly unhypnotized. But rather than dismissing her as a failed subject, Orne became fascinated by her resistance. Through careful observation and interviews, he discovered that Chen's mind operated like a constant fact-checking machine. Even when she tried to relax, part of her consciousness remained vigilant, monitoring her internal state and questioning every suggestion. She couldn't turn off her critical thinking even when she wanted to. This led Orne to identify what became known as cognitive resistance, the brain's natural ability to maintain executive control even under suggestion. Chen's case demonstrated that approximately 10–15% of the population possesses this trait so strongly that traditional hypnotic induction simply cannot override it. Years later, brain imaging studies would reveal why. Highly resistant individuals like Chen show unusual activity in the anterior cingulate cortex and dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, areas associated with attention control and monitoring, even during relaxation attempts. Their brains literally won't let their guard down. Chen's resistance wasn't a character flaw or lack of imagination. It was a neurological reality that would help scientists understand that hypnosis isn't about overpowering the mind, but about working with its natural patterns. Chapter 2. The Military Experiments. During the Cold War, both American and Soviet researchers investigated whether hypnosis could be blocked or reversed, particularly in intelligence contexts. The CIA's MKUltra program included extensive studies on hypnotic resistance, though much of this research was later deemed unethical and destroyed. However, legitimate military research conducted in the 1960s at Walter Reed Army Medical Center yielded important insights. Dr. Robert Shore studied soldiers who needed to resist potential enemy interrogation techniques, including hypnosis-assisted questioning. The soldiers were taught specific resistance techniques. The anchor method, focusing intensely on a specific physical sensation, like pressing their tongue to the roof of their mouth, to maintain conscious awareness. Mental mathematics, continuously performing complex calculations to keep the analytical mind engaged. Emotional arousal, deliberately generating anger or fear to increase alertness and resistance to suggestion. The white room technique, visualizing themselves in a completely white, empty space whenever someone attempted induction. Testing revealed these methods were remarkably effective. Soldiers trained in resistance techniques showed a 70% reduction in hypnotic susceptibility compared to untrained controls. Brain monitoring showed that these techniques maintained high activity in areas associated with executive control and self-awareness. Interestingly, the research also revealed a crucial limitation. Resistance techniques required constant mental effort. Subjects couldn't maintain them indefinitely, especially when tired, stressed, or distracted. This finding would later influence understanding of how resistance works in civilian contexts. The military studies also confirmed that ethical reversal of hypnotic states was straightforward. Simple awakening procedures worked even on deeply hypnotized subjects, because hypnosis doesn't actually override a person's fundamental autonomy. From Chapter 3, The Neuroscience Revolution. In the 1990s, advances in brain imaging technology revolutionized understanding of hypnotic resistance. Dr. Amir Raz at Columbia University conducted groundbreaking studies using fMRI and EEG to observe what happens in resistant brains during hypnotic induction attempts. His most famous experiment involved two groups, highly hypnotizable subjects and highly resistant ones. Both groups underwent identical hypnotic induction procedures, while their brain activity was monitored in real time. The results were striking. In hypnotizable subjects, activity decreased in the dorsal anterior cingulate cortex, associated with monitoring and control, and increased in areas linked to absorption and focused attention. Their brains essentially let go of executive oversight. Resistant subjects showed the opposite pattern. Their monitoring systems became hyperactive during induction attempts. It was as if their brains were saying, "Something unusual is happening, pay closer attention." The harder researchers tried to induce hypnosis, the more alert these subjects became. But Raz made an unexpected discovery. When resistant subjects were given intellectually engaging tasks that required focused attention, like complex puzzle solving, their resistance patterns changed. Their monitoring systems relaxed because they were engaged in something their analytical minds found genuinely interesting. This led to the development of cognitive bridge techniques, where resistant individuals could experience hypnotic-like states through intense intellectual engagement rather than traditional relaxation methods. It wasn't hypnosis in the classical sense, but it achieved similar therapeutic benefits. Raz's work also demonstrated that hypnotic states could be reversed through multiple pathways: external awakening procedures, self-directed emergence, people naturally come out of hypnotic states, or even sudden environmental changes that triggered the brain's alert systems. The neuroscience revealed that resistance isn't about willpower, it's about brain architecture. Some people's neural networks are simply wired to maintain conscious monitoring, making traditional hypnotic bypass impossible. Damadonru Chapter 4: Modern Applications and Ethical Boundaries. Today's understanding of hypnotic resistance has transformed both clinical practice and our broader understanding of consciousness. Dr. Elvira Lang at Harvard Medical School has pioneered techniques that work with resistance rather than against it. In her pain management clinic, Lang encounters many patients whose analytical minds resist traditional hypnotic approaches. Instead of viewing this as failure, she's developed collaborative consciousness techniques that respect the patient's need to maintain awareness while still achieving therapeutic benefits. One remarkable case involved James Rodriguez, a software engineer with chronic pain from a back injury. Traditional relaxation-based hypnosis failed completely. His programmer's mind couldn't stop analyzing and questioning every suggestion. Instead of fighting this, Lang worked with it. She asked Rodriguez to imagine his pain as a complex computer program and to visualize debugging it step by step. His analytical mind engaged completely with this metaphor, and while focused on the intellectual challenge, his pain levels decreased significantly. He achieved therapeutic benefit while maintaining full conscious awareness. Modern research has identified several reliable resistance techniques that people can use when needed. Metacognitive monitoring. Continuously observing your own mental state and questioning suggestions. Physiological anchoring. Maintaining awareness of specific physical sensations or controlling breathing patterns. Cognitive load. Engaging in mentally demanding tasks that require active thinking. Environmental awareness. Staying connected to external stimuli like sounds, temperatures, or textures. These techniques work because they maintain activity in brain regions associated with executive control and self-monitoring. Ethical practitioners now recognize that resistance is often protective and healthy. The goal isn't to overcome resistance, but to work collaboratively with each person's natural mental patterns. This has led to more effective therapeutic approaches and better outcomes for both highly suggestible and highly resistant individuals. The study of hypnotic resistance has also contributed to broader understanding of consciousness, attention, and the remarkable capacity of the human mind to maintain autonomy even under unusual circumstances. It reminds us that the brain's protective mechanisms are sophisticated and worthy of respect, not obstacles to overcome. Perhaps most importantly, this research confirms that while hypnosis can be a powerful therapeutic tool, the human mind ultimately cannot be controlled against its will by ethical practitioners. Resistance isn't a bug in human consciousness, it's a feature. Beyond, this account is based on documented research and case studies in hypnosis and consciousness research. Names of some subjects have been changed to protect privacy, but the scientific findings and techniques described are drawn from peer-reviewed literature in psychology and neuroscience.
We'll see you in the funny papers.
Don't forget to like, share, and hit subscribe! No way! That's great!